are backstage at Michigan Philharmonic, and we are with music director and conductor Nan Washburn and the guest artist today for the French Connection, Anastasia Rizikov. Now, did I say that right?
You were very close.
Okay, I was close. So help me out. Say it again.
Rizikov, Anastasia Rizikov.
Anastasia Rizikov. Well, today's concert was absolutely amazing. And before I ask you a few questions, I need to ask Nan first, how do you keep raising the bar and, just bringing us such fresh and exciting programming?
It is hard. I mean, people come up and say, that was my favorite. And then I have to do something
similar in a different way, a different take.
The next time. So, yeah, programming is something I think about a lot, and getting the right combination of music and guest artists. And we also lucked out today with a beautiful, beautiful concert space that makes us sound much larger than the orchestra that we have.
Speaking of your programming, the French Connection, how do you come up with that?
Well, actually, I'd had this piece in mind, both the Louis Ferrand Symphony, which is a composer that nobody knows, though if you go on YouTube, you can actually hear this piece, but a French composer writing in the middle of 1800s, and it's a beautiful, beautiful piece, and I wanted to have an excuse to put that on the program along with the Ravel Piano Concerto, and I've been kind of thinking about what pianist would I like to have play that, and I just thought the combination of those two pieces as the anchor would be a wonderful combination. And then Mark Petering, our guest composer, wrote this piece that's sort of based on Ravel's music. And then there was another person that suggested, why aren't you going to do Bolero? You know, we love Bolero. When are you going to do Bolero? Well, Bolero is a huge orchestra, which is a little hard for us.
And so how large of an orchestra? Because I know you mentioned,
it's
we're
more
kind of cutting it down here
like
today.
80, 90. I mean, because it includes saxophones and lots of winds, and so and then it goes along twice as long as the one that we did today. We did our mini Bolero.
Well, of course, someone was sitting next to me and said when they heard Bolero, "Oh, that's the song from the movie 10."
Yes, it is on the movie tracks. Several movie tracks. It's people know it very well.
And then the guy was like, it was a gentleman, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm thinking about Bo Derek." I'm like, okay, yeah. Well, I'm glad you appreciate the music, for sure.
That's right.
But now Nan is telling us that you were a little hesitant about learning the piece, so tell us about that.
It's very different, my feelings for this piece now. I see the jazziness, it's really there, and the beauty of the second movement, the unusual beauty of the second movement.
Very transparent.
The suspiciously beautiful.
That's a good.
Of course.
So how long have you been playing?
It's been 9 years already.
9 long years.
So you started when you were
5.
Help us with the math.
5 years old. And you like jazz.
I love jazz.
And now you're from Toronto?
Yes, I am from Toronto.
And there was a very famous jazz pianist.
Oscar Peterson.
Yes, Oscar Peterson.
I love Oscar Peterson.
So,
absolutely adore him.
So he was one of the guys that you idolized.
No.
Any others?
Well, there are so many jazz pianists out there, some that aren't as famous as others, but equally as good. So I just really love to listen to jazz and jazz bands, and I find it so interesting to play collaborative jazz works, and this was sort of a collaborative jazz work in a way.
I mean, there's just little inflections of jazz here and there.
Yeah, so I absolutely adore jazz. So.
Well, that's wonderful. So you are on the competition circuit, is that the correct way to say it? Competitive?
Yes.
And so tell us about that. How does that work?
I travel to different countries. Usually it's not a competition in Canada. And I compete. And my recent winning was in Spain. Actually not very recent anymore, but it was very prestigious because it was a competition for adults. 28 years and under, and it was a 3-round competition.
So you
complete
had
solo
to
repertoire.
play 3 rounds, or was it a process of elimination?
It was a process of elimination,
Okay.
and by the 3rd round, there were 3 people left out of 28.
Wow.
26, sorry. And it was very stressful.
And you were one of the 3.
I was one of the 3, and I got first place.
And good. Now, how did you two meet?
Let's see. I think it was through Julie Ford, who's the music minister at St. John's Episcopal Church just down the road. And I was at that church and heard just a little bit of you practicing for your recital. I wasn't able to go to the recital, but I remember hearing that and go, oh, she's very amazing. And you were probably 10 or 11 at that point.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you love playing with Michigan Philharmonic.
I absolutely adore
And,
Michigan Philharmonic, and
And
even
what makes
more-
them so special? Because I know you travel the world and you work with a lot of different orchestras, but what makes Michigan Philharmonic stand out in your mind?
Nan Washburn.
Nan Washburn.
I'm serious. I
oh.
absolutely love Nan as
Oh,
a conductor
well,
and
we-
as a
we do
person,
too.
And as a musician.
Very
because
nice.
Very poised and
thank
very
you.
intelligent.
It's one of those things where I think people don't realize that working with an artist on a concerto, it's collaborative. I mean, they are the star, but there is a little sense of we're out there on a tightrope together, right? And we have to trust each other that all will be fine, and we have to constantly be in contact.
Yes.
Visually and kind of just feeling-wise.
Well, you know,
And a
you
fabulous
must
artist.
explain to our audience, for those who don't know, what a concerto is.
A concerto is a solo piece for an instrument with orchestra accompanying.
Okay.
And in this case, with the Ravel concerto, the orchestra is very integrated into the composition. So it's not, we play a little, soloist plays a little, we play, that's kind of standard for older concertos.
Right.
This one is all very much, so that we had to work very, it was like big chamber music.
Yes.
Would you say that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We were like an ensemble, not even like, in most parts I wasn't the soloist. We were the soloist together. We were one. We weren't.
What do you do to have fun besides, you know, I know you love playing the piano, and how many hours is that?
Really, it depends. It goes anywhere from 2 to 6, and it depends on what I have up. I love spending time outside. I love reading very much. Reading is
So you're a normal teenager is what you're telling us,
well,
pretty
except
much.
for the texting part.
Oh, the texting
I
part?
can text
Okay.
really fast, but I
Oh.
don't.
Yeah.
Because my fingers are.
Now, do you like pop music? Is there anybody
depends.
out there you like Lady Gaga, who is
Yes.
just fantastic at the piano?
Yes,
Yes.
that is one of the reasons why I love her so much. She did a lot of jazz before she was who she
And
was.
she's
and-
classically trained.
And she was a prodigy as a young girl, and she composed piano music as well. So I love Lady Gaga on so many different levels as a performer.
So now, do you have a website?
Yes, I do.
And that would be?
www.anastasiarizikov.ca. ANASTASIARIZIKOV.
It's been wonderful talking to you today
It's been
and
wonderful
hearing you
being here.
perform. You are just amazing, and you have such a bright future ahead of you.
Thank you very
for
much.
sure. And Nan, in closing, is there anything you would like to add about this wonderful young lady or Michigan Philharmonic?
Well, we'll be back here at this church with a much bigger orchestra on April 21st, where I'm actually trying to figure out where we're going to put all the musicians, because we'll have quite a few, and it's a side-by-side with our youth orchestra as well, so we'll have close to 90 musicians. So that's coming up.
And
then
the theme?
And the theme is Adventures on Earth. And it's
Thank you all for being with us today on Michigan Philharmonic Backstage. I'm Regina Schamberger, and we'll see you next time.